Hey guys, my name is Ryan, and welcome to Overwatch Central and another Omened by HP video, who are of course the proud PC providers of the Overwatch League. Today we're going to be talking about Stage 2. Stage 1 is over with Vancouver Titans winning at the grand finals there, but when you have a new hero coming into the fray in a couple of weeks, and also a new patch with a lot of changes, I couldn't not talk about the next future meta that we may see. But instead of giving my speculation, I wanted to compile all the reactions, opinions and speculation coming from the pros and also the Overwatch League talent on what Stage 2 is going to provide. How good is Baptiste going to be? Is Goats actually going to be dead? Answering some of those questions. The first part of the video is going to focus on Baptiste, the latest hero added into the game, to basically ask how good is he going to be and also what slot in the team is he going to fill up. I wanted to start with the opinions of the Overwatch League talent Sideshow, Bren and Zoe. I'm not going to take the whole 3-minute clip, I'm going to paraphrase elements so you get an understanding and context, but Sideshow basically says to begin with that players are going to be trying out Baptiste in their lineups, but because of the skill and abilities that Baptiste has, such as the invulnerability field and of course his ultimate, they're very static abilities. They require you to stand in one place, which is a big weakness for the character. So this means that the combination of Baptiste alongside certain compositions such as maybe Goats and Dive might be a lot weaker than say Bunker Comp. So Baptiste on his own might not have as much impact in being propelled into the meta, right? Well, as Bren highlighted, some of the nerfs in the game that came in with Baptiste will be the reason why this hero does get played a lot more.
Let me also add something to
Brad.
Baptiste argument. Buffs for Orisa, nerfs for Lucio. Okay?
Nerfs for Lucio
speed
is the
boost
huge
is
one.
the biggest one.
Yeah.
The lack of speed boost now is one of the one things that makes Goats actually good, the triple time, triple support composition.
Yeah.
Lucio's speed boost going from 30 to 20 is massive for nerfing that. Along with the Orisa buffs as well, it's minor, but it all helps at the end of the day when it comes to the bunker comms being ran. So I'm heated.
Bunker Comp is a meta that's been around ever since the tail end of Stage 1 last year, but it's never really gone for a period where it was the meta, right? It was very much a map-dependent area. There's some gameplay on in the background between a semi-final of London Spitfire Houston Outlaws, which was way back in Stage 1 last year. This was with really good Junkrat and Moth Meta Mercy, but the premise of having a Orisa, Widowmaker, Junkrat, Mercy, Zen all being tucked away on the high ground is pretty much how it works out quite a lot. I mean, basically the same comp has been used here in this Chengdu Hunter match. So I feel in areas like this, Baptiste is going to absolutely shine, and you can certainly understand why. This seems to be the most common theory going across a lot of the pros, thinking that he will be best suited for stuff like bunker comps because of the static nature that he has. However, looking at what Neptuno said, he believes that Baptiste actually might be beneficial to Goats comp, which of course has been the meta for quite some time. To quote from the NBC Sports article, I've been thinking about it and I feel like he actually benefits Goats comp. I think if you put Baptiste in your comp, then there's a massive fight. The team that has the Baptiste is going to win. I don't think that anyone will shoot the Immortality field generator fast enough. It's easy to talk about, but we really need to be able to play it to see. This sentiment was also suggested by Nox, who is the head coach for Contenders team British Hurricane. He again believes that Baptiste will add to Goats comp as opposed to hamper it. But like Neptuno said, in this case we really have to wait and see. The map pool of Stage 2 is a lot more forgiving to compositions that aren't Goats comp. Watch Point Gibraltar is in there, which of course is a very vertical map. Great for if you're playing stuff like Dive or double snipers because you can fight from distance, and that's where these compositions have been used previously in the past. Not to mention Junkertown, a map very well known for its pirate ship compositions, which no doubt Baptiste will only add to, putting a Bastion on the payload with an invulnerability field. You can probably imagine how that's going to go and how fun that will be to watch. So because of that, people like Sideshow saying that we're going into a map-dependent meta where you have all of these, dive-favoured maps that you can't really run tanks on, I do feel that we're going to see a lot less Goats because of it. But also on the Overwatch League desk, the talent brought up a really good point on who Baptiste is going to be good with, and raises a point of talking about main supports and flex supports, and what role Baptiste is going to have in that lineup. Really interesting discussion, so I'm actually just going to let this one play out.
I'm not sure whether it's going to be the people you'd normally see on Zenyatta or Ana at the moment, or whether it's going to be the Lucios. It depends what he ends up synergizing best with. And when we were talking to Christopher earlier, he thought that it might be the main support player, Neptuno, Elk for the Fusion, the guys who you would normally see playing Lucio now. So that's a big shift in terms of what makes a player good. You don't really have to have great hit scan aim on Lucio at the moment. So a whole new skill set has now been opened up for those guys.
It'll be interesting to see which players pick up Baptiste as their main hero, whether he's going to sort of contest for the same slots as Zenyatta or Ana, so players like Jay Jonak would be playing Baptiste in this scenario, or whether it would be the Lucio/Mercy players that would be playing him, such as Slime, Custer, even though he's not playing at the moment. You get the idea. At the moment, there is definitely a partition in what support players play, whether they go for the main supports of Lucio and Mercy, or the more offensively tailored ones such as Ana and Zenyatta. Baptiste could play in either of those slots and still work, and will combine with different compositions and synergies very well if used correctly. So that aspect makes me very excited. But we did have Sideshow on the channel a couple of weeks ago now, and he did have a lot to say about bunker comp and where that could place and the meta that can come from there. So I'm just going to use a clip from that video. If you want to check out the full thing, it's in the description. But I think he basically kind of sums up everything in this short clip.
I think the most likely situation is that every map on defense and offense will have a different little metagame happening. So for example, on Anubis, where we see a lot of the kind of bunker comps or anti-dive compositions with the Widowmaker and the Junkrat on Anubis Point A defense, I think that'll be incredibly powerful there with the Junkrat buffs and stuff like that. But I don't think you'll really see that on every map on defense, and definitely not on the escort maps as well, where you need to be a bit more mobile. So I think teams will be swapping and changing between playing dive to counter the bunker comps, playing bunker comps to counter the goats comps, playing goats to counter the dive, maybe throwing in a bit of Sombra stuff in there as well, and maybe some triple tank, triple support that includes the Winston. So it seems likely to me that it's going to be very map dependent, and that's a good place for the game to be, in my opinion. The oppressive thing, the thing that people dislike mostly about the GOATS comp, I think, is that you can just run it everywhere. It wouldn't be too bad if you could only run it on a couple of maps, and it was really powerful on a couple of maps. Like, that's always been the case, that quad tank or triple tank's been really powerful on a bunch of maps, but the fact you can run it everywhere, even on, like, I don't know, Gibraltar, which used to be such a dive-heavy map, I think that just rubs people up the wrong way. So it seems likely to me we'll be getting back to a meta that's a bit more map-dependent.
In short, I think there's going to be a lot of changes with heroes really shining in popularity in comparison to Stage 1. That's not to say the GOATS comp is going to disappear entirely. I do think we are still going to see it in some situations, but this new hero and the changes to Lucio, as were highlighted, I really think do shine a new light on a new meta that will be upcoming in the next patch. It's kind of why I really don't want to talk about the compositions used in Stage 1. We highlighted the Shendu Hunters in the last Omen by HP video that we did, but honestly, I can't wait to see what that team does with this new hero and other new changes. But that's everything that I wanted to go over today. Just a quick compilation of what the Overwatch League talent and some of the pros have said about the meta, where it's going to go, and ultimately what Baptiste's role is going to be in it. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks again to Omen by HP. They make some kick-ass laptops, so if you want to check them out in the description below, you most certainly can do. Thanks again, take care, and I'll see you soon.